Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. I'm using a microphone because my voice is like half gone, but I'm not sure if Dr. Steve will or not. But we just wanted to thank you for being here today. We're really excited to have Dr. Steve with us. Right before we get started, I just want to thank our sponsors. So we had Bluebird. They sponsored the goodies that you've been enjoying. So they couldn't stay, but we definitely wanted to thank them. And we do want to thank Shiloh Angel. So Grace is actually going to come up and say a few words. Victoria's going to come up and say a few words. Come on up. They sponsored Dr. Steve being here today. So can we give them and Bluebird a round of applause?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you. Good afternoon. We're excited to be partnering with the Senior Center in providing the services to you. We're Shiloh Angels. We're down the road from here on 264 North Main Street. We are visiting VNA and home care agency, sending caregivers to patients' homes or clients' homes who need it. So if you know anybody who needs PCA, home health aid, you give us a call. Consistent caregivers. It's so hard to find caregivers now, but we have consistent caregivers who provide exceptional care in the comfort of your own home. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so thank you again for being here. This time I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Steve. Again, I don't think he's using a microphone, so if you need him to use one, you just let him know while he's speaking, okay?
Well, I don't move until you clap. What kind of deal is that? So there's an intro about this Dr. Steve I'd like to read, okay? Our esteemed speaker today is nationally adored motivational speaker, humorist, author, and coach, Dr. Steve Sobel. This is all humbly stated. Steve is the author of the Good Times Handbook, Your Guide to Positive Living and an Exciting Life, and numerous audio and DVD programs. He has been featured on Inside Edition and appears on TV and radio shows often. This is all true. He also has his own TV show on Channel 40 a couple of years ago called Looking Up. Steve is a former award-winning school principal and is also the coach of the Springfield Slam, a high-level basketball team, for those who like basketball. He is grateful and excited to be here today, and that's true. Please know he regards boring presentations as slow forms of torture, and he also recommends that you do not lend your car to anyone you've given birth to. So, without further delay, it's my pleasure to be here and introduce myself. Thank you very, very much. And as soon as I walked in the room, you talk about life going fast. Somebody comes up to me, a former student at Western New England College, now university, and she says, I couldn't plant somebody in the audience like this. And she says, I had you for a class 40 years ago.
Thank you.
And she said, I still look the same. So I've been preserved pretty good. But I came out for this occasion. They let me out. And I can guarantee one thing. I'll touch your spirit. I'll touch your heart. I'll touch your funny bone. And I'll make you think about what's possible in your life, no matter what's gone on in your life. And please know, if I get exuberant about a point, please know I have full respect for your life, for what you've gone through, for what you've endured, and what you'd enjoy. So let me just get a few demographics out of the way, because it just helps me process. How many people here are married? How many believe love is blind, but marriage is indeed a real eye-opener? Okay. And how many people in this room have children of their own? That's good. Grandchildren, all right? You have a lot of roots, and you've done a lot of good things. And I'm here to give you, I work a little at Birchland Park Middle School, and we have a policy, no cell phone. So can I please have that phone, please? And these kids walk around and see. But here's the good news. Regardless of what we have going on physically and emotionally, and they're both tied together, the government, this was years ago, I don't know what study it was tied to. I don't do a lot of studies, but came up with some very interesting categories. And this should give us some optimism, hope, and some motivation to continue to do some of the things you're doing and add stuff to your plate. Don't just have a bucket list because it's time for a bucket list. Have an active bucket list. Little things become big things. How many can hear me? At least, good, because the speech is over. No, I'm going to stay here a little. They said age 45 to 60, chronologically, shall now be thought of as middle age. 60 to 75, we'll get to you. She's going like this. How is this relevant? 45 to 60, middle age. 60 to 75, older adult. 75 to 90, elderly.
Oh, God.
90, hold it, I'm not done. 90 and above, old age. And you kind of have to look at some role models, whether you know them personally or not. And I have a lot of role models I've never met. And one is Pablo Casals. Anybody ever hear of Pablo Casals, the great cello player? He's asked in his 90s, look at this attitude. Mr. Casals, you're the world's greatest cello player. Why do you still keep practicing? And I love his answer. I'm beginning to see progress. And it's about progress every single day. And there's a magic number. And if you see these notes behind me, I may refer, but it also may be just stuff to impress you. 86,400. The number of seconds you get, you're allotted in a 24-hour period to make life work for you, to reinvent yourself, to have new friendships. And for those of you that have been in loving, caring relationships, whether it be work or whether it be life, you never lose those memories. How many of you have some great photos at home that you wouldn't give away to anybody in terms of remembrance of other people? Great photo. And you've got to have those photos. And also, in terms of laughter and all the physiological effects, and I really ask you, take some articles. I write for a lot of magazines. They pay me, so make it worth your while. Take some of those. But in terms of the effect of laughter and humor on the body, no matter what age we are, we're finding out stuff all the time. That laughter and humor can make your body feel good. You can sleep better. And here's the good news: as we get older, it helps our system. How many understand what I've just said with that? It helps better than coffee, okay? And it brings people together. When I see people walking down a hallway, many companies I visit, a lot of them should have this sign on them: please do not disturb. They're just walking like this, and I'm not mad at them, but I think that you might forget what your smile or little hello does, even for a stranger walking into the store. How you doing? How you doing? Simple, stupid friend. Oh, good. Because there's chemicals going on in your body which say, somebody's glad to see me. I feel good. I got out. So laughter and humor is also an attachment attitude that brings us together, that says the day might be challenging, but it's not tragic. In fact, it might lead you to a great level of appreciation. And I'll know if you appreciate things by asking this question. How many of you can honestly say in this room, with a show of hands, that you're glad to be above ground than below ground? Yeah, And that means when you wake up in the morning, it's a gift to you, or whenever you wake up. Or because some people aren't, and you have been chosen to wake up and make the best of the day. And there's no better season. Winter's no better than spring. Spring's no better than summer. Summer's no better than fall. But every season is a season for living. And I can also tell, I wonder is that a bird? Is that a bird? It might be a bird, yeah. I always look for cardinals because they signify different visitors in my life, okay? But the morning time is very, very important because you're going to run into difficult people and difficult situations. And I'm going to give you a little exercise that may seem ultimately corny to you, but I'd like you to try and think about doing some of these things. How many of you, this is first thing in the morning after you wake up. I know you're on the edge of your seat. Hang in there, okay? Yeah. How many have a mirror in the bathroom or the house, or I have a fancy word today I haven't used in years, vestibule. I want them to use the word vestibule. Anybody know what a vestibule is? Yeah, just go around to somebody in the hallway and just say, hey, you got a vestibule? You know? But you go in front of the mirror, and I used to have T-shirts, a 5-color T-shirt, but developed by my friend Larry Slezak, who I haven't seen for 40 years. He was the head of graphic arts at Springfield Technical Community College, and we came up with this. And you go up to that mirror as best you can with your knees and everything else, you know, and you look in that mirror, and you go like this. There ain't nobody, smile a little, not a lot, gonna ruin my day. So on a count of 3, I'd like you to try that. And by the way, I'll know if you're a positive person because you won't be looking at somebody else saying, are you really going to do this? Don't get swayed by others. Hey, your trip is a one-way ticket. You come into this world alone and you leave alone. In fact, when they bury you, you want to go under 6 feet, more than that, you got to get out and dig it yourself. So try these. You don't have to do it anytime soon. But I'm going to guide you with it, all right? And for those that need and learn by repetition, you can still stay in the room and not be embarrassed. So it starts like this again, right? Remember, I'm just going to demonstrate it one more time, then we're going to do it together. There ain't nobody. Smile a little, not a lot. And then in the Clint Eastwood voice, if you can, gonna ruin my day. Ready? On the count of and by the way, for those that are looking for a script. I didn't know this would be so interactive. I wouldn't have come here today, you know? Deal with it. You ready? On the count of 3. I'm your guide. I'm in your corner. I'm the cut man. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There ain't nobody. Smile a little, not a lot. Gonna ruin my day. Or how about a round of applause just for trying? Just for trying. And a lot of what I like to do are phrases that touch you inspirationally and also make you laugh at a few times. And I've created this. But to do it, I need your cooperation. Among 2 people, you're already set. Did you come together today? Yes. Yes. Those are very heavy earrings. You lift your head up. Yeah, no, that's very good. That's heavyweights, yeah. No, I think that you should, even if you're not going anywhere special, I think you should put on whatever you want to put on in terms of special clothing and colors. See what you got on your head? You don't think people notice this? Yeah, of course they. Where'd she get that? Why is she wearing that, you know? She got LL Bean socks on. She's got these. She's got blue. I mean, I notice people are influenced by colors. So I decided to wear a colorful shirt today, all right? Tomorrow you can wear a colorful shirt, okay? I'll take your blood bank donor shirt and we'll trade, all right? So among 2 people, would somebody be partner 1 and somebody be partner 2? You got 3 people there. Somebody can be the observer. But 1 and 2 among 2 people. Can you so agree and designate who will be which number? All right, now, how many have a number? And you must laugh at yourself and little stupid things every single day. So where's partner number 2? Where's partner 2? You're usually the one who told number 1 who they are.
Yeah, that's right.
All right? And the reason I say, we'll go back into a more serious mode, about you must laugh every day. One of my heroes growing up was a guy named Jim Valvano, Jimmy V, basketball guy. But more than that, Jimmy V for cancer. How many have heard of Jimmy Valvano? Yeah. And the greatest motivational speech I ever heard, and I've heard a lot of them, was in 1993, I believe, when he had cancer. His team was North Carolina State, who won the NCAA men's championship when they weren't supposed to. And by the way, if you're a basketball fan, there are 2 North Carolina State teams in the Final Four, women and men. And Jimmy V was my camp counselor at Long Island Lutheran High School during my high school years. We had to have a scholarship to go there. And he said in his speech, and he said often, I had heard it many years earlier, so I know it was the real deal, and I want you to remember it. These are his words. He said, in one day, if you can laugh, laugh at yourself, laugh with people. If you can cry because somebody has touched your heart and you've touched their spirit. If you can laugh and cry and think in one day, in his words, you will have had one hell of a day. So you have to have a little formula when you wake up, saying, who am I going to surround myself with on purpose? Where am I going to go on purpose? And even if you find a little cafe to have some coffee, but it's surrounded by positive people, and you know you feel energy and vibes, that's the place you want to be for a period of time. So partner number one, where are you again? I must see you. Okay, I'm going to ask you, partner number one, to recognize, appreciate, and temporarily love the person next to you. See, I don't know your deal, who you came with. You came with a harem or one person? Yeah, it's a very interesting situation. Yeah, he's been smiling since I walked in the room. Anyway, hey.
It's the greatest feeling.
I didn't ask you, it's still my seminar. All right, I'll talk to you in a little while. Kind of unveil your secret. All right, so partner one, we know, and you're born with this, just like your parents spent a lot of time and a lot of heartfelt picking a name out for you. You all have very special names. I don't even have to know the names now. But partner one, you will look, please, at partner two. Don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. And you will look, but with sincerity. And you will look at partner two, give him a little stare first. And then on the count of three, and just give him a little stare. And just go like this. You're a piece of work. Celebrate the people in this room. So where is partner one? And don't change your number on me. So partner one, it's on you. It's from you. You're a piece of work. With all their idiosyncrasies, all their strengths, all their faults, bring people into your life and don't make a mountain out of a molehill if they're not perfect. You know, even when you go into the movies, if the person drives you crazy because you didn't get to the movie exactly on time, you know, or didn't park between the lines. I know somebody, a friend of mine, we go out, and if you don't park between the lines, it's a whole discussion. And it's a discussion about nothing, because it really doesn't matter. So partner one, I know you have a fairly good retentive memory. You will turn to partner two. That's the first step. Be grateful you remembered what number you are. How was the seminar? Well, you know, I'm feeling good. I know what number I am, you know. Little things. Well, how many of you have walked around the house with the glasses on your head and you've asked people, where are they? You said, you know what? Where'd you put my glasses? You know, we do little funny things, and instead of getting irritated and getting your stress hormones going, you don't need it, not only at this age, at any age. Lighten up a little. Lighten up. So partner one, here we go. And I've delayed just so you can forget. On the count of three, I'm not even going to mention again what you're going to do. I just want to know whose birthday was it? Because I thought you were celebrating my birthday. These are very nice. Whose birthday was it?
Anybody born this month?
Very good. Does anybody ask to take the balloons?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, good. That's a sign of a healthy organization. Take the balloons, the tablecloth, pull the truck up in the back, put the chairs in the table. What the heck, right? What do you got to lose? So are we ready? Partner one. On the count of three, you will say, and you know the phrase. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You're a piece of work. That's right. Now, partner two, where are you? Quick. Please look at partner one, and would you please say, in a confident voice, you're damn right.
Damn right.
You're damn right. Sometimes you got to walk around, even if you think the world is a lonely place for a day, you got to walk around like you're damn right. You know, I'm walking in here. Hey, I'll have a coffee, you know. Look confident. You looking for coffee? No, it's all right. All right. I know. You're under my spell. Relax, okay? You're good. Nice sweater.
Thank you.
There's a history to it, but we'll talk about that later, okay? The mallard duck kind of interests me. I'm ready to analyze the whole thing, okay? All right, so she's wearing a duck. Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah. Well, the kids go like this, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk. Give me a call later, all right? Now, partner one, where are you again? We say life is short, and it is. And it's what you do in between the lines. Hopefully you've heard that, how you collect the dots, what you do. And I am not suggesting don't get down or don't get upset, but don't get down for the long period of time so you can't get up. And life's going to knock you down, and I'll say something cute, but it's real. Don't let it knock you out. Sometimes you got to force yourself to get up. Get up and get out. So partner one, let's celebrate life with this phrase and kind of figuratively attach it to gratitude. And the line is, partner one, you still remember who you are. You're very flexible, right? And next time I come, if you want to be a different number, you can. Yeah. Because somebody's going to complain, I didn't like the number I was today. So partner one, would you look at partner two, and would you please say slowly so they can ingest it in their heart? Life is too short to drink the house wine. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's exactly right. Because there are things that only you can do. So somebody goes out with you and says, I don't know if I want that wine. And look, money is absolutely serious stuff. It's $1 more. Carry a spare $1 for a friend. Let them have that little rosé with the fancy label. Wear a nice pair of socks. Dress up a little differently. Get a different type of hairstyle. Not so much me, but maybe, you. Experiment a little. Because 1 year turns into 5, 5 turns into 10, and you go like this. The watch says, where did it go? So 1 day at a time is still the best prescription you can get. So partner one, can you say that again to partner two? Don't drink that. I know, I'm looking at you. Life is too short to drink the house. And by the way, these are key phrases. Put them on the refrigerator. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's right. Now, I don't care if you drink wine. It's significant. If you go to a restaurant or you're cooking and you say, the green beans were too expensive, buy the green beans. Buy the green beans. Treat yourself. We spend a lot of time. Glasses, frames, So partner number two, you got to let partner number one know that they're looking good. So take your 2 fingers real quick. Don't think. Partner number two. And on the count of 3, go to partner number one, don't hurt him, and go, you look terrific. Would you do that right now? You look great. And half the people need that because you'll say you look terrific even to a stranger. They'll go into the nearest bathroom and go, you're right. Somebody, I did lose a little weight here. You look terrific. Now, here's a big question that you all know the answer to. Because if you're living life, you're going to have them. Some are unsolvable, some take a long time, some take a short time, but it's not always in our control. How many of you have some ongoing issues in your life? Emotionally, physically, relationship, kids? Raise your hand. You can raise your hand twice. We all have them. I'm of the opinion, most of the time, and I'm not medicated, that you're lucky to even have issues. You one at a time, you kind of chop it up. So we're going to say it with the grace of, I'm glad I have it. Don't look at me like that. You got a late pass? All right, put it on the table. I have to check it and sign it usually, all right? We're glad you made it. Hey, by the way, next time you see somebody sitting by themselves in a restaurant, or 2 people, supposedly a couple, and sometimes they just look at each other or they're on their phones. Yeah. Just look at the food and go, wow, what is that? and people will start engaging you in conversation. You won't be thrown out. You're not obnoxious. You're not doing anything illegal yet. All right? But engage people. And you never know when a stranger becomes a friend. You never know when you're going to see that person. We're not wise enough to know what's going to happen. So partner number one and partner number two, you said a lot of phrases together. But partner number one and partner number two, you're going to say this phrase to yourself. No more partner. Like you're lucky to be having challenges. And it's all in your voice inflection. So on the count of three, would you say, and you can look at me, with a smile. You don't have to overdo it. On the count of three, you will say, watch, I got issues. I got issues. Can you do that right now? Watch. 1, 2, 3.
I got issues.
Yeah, damn right you got issues. Yeah. And you know what? Yeah. Look, somebody here has to. Charlie, I see your grandson every day.
Do you really?
Yeah. Well, I asked
They're
him to.
super kids.
Yeah. This is one of the greatest basketball coaches ever in Western Massachusetts. Give him a round of applause. Yeah. Well, his last name is Mannheim, but I always ask your son, I said, how's your grandpa? This was 2 days ago. You can ask him. Good. What does he do? He goes, I don't know. But he loves you. All right? Good to see you. So, you have issues every single day. Because somebody here has, see, many things we've worried about, few of which ever happened. And worrying about them doesn't solve them. But it's natural to worry. Decrease it a little. Somebody here drove in today, I know it, and the car was making a strange sound. How many people can attest to that? Anybody? Strange sound? How many need new tires? All right. All right. How many have a repair they have to make at home? Okay. How many said they're going to call somebody but haven't called them? Oh, and by the way, that's another thing. When somebody in your life, close to you, calls you, it's usually predictable. People call at certain times. What I'd like you to do is to be a little rebel. Is to call somebody up at a time that you usually don't call them up. You know, some people call their parents up on a Sunday, let's say. Call people up on another day and they answer the phone. Let's say it's Tuesday, 8 p.m., odd time. Hello? What's wrong?
Yeah.
No, I just called to say I love you and to see how you're doing. You'll stagger them. Doing things differently. And to write letters to people. There's a book that's one of my favorites, and I urge you to read as best you can before your eyes get tired. How many have read one of my favorite books, Tuesdays with Maury? What's your first name? Denise? Cindy, okay, yeah. What do you remember about Tuesdays with Maury? And it doesn't have to be anything in depth. You cried because of the sincerity. Who else read the book? I just want to. You remember what did it make you feel? What was it? What did it do to you that you could say, "Hey, go read it"? Compassion. What?
Account of a person's life.
Good. We'll only call on 3 people. But Tuesdays with Maury happened accidentally. In fact, Mitch Albom was a great sports writer that I used to follow from the Detroit Free Press. In fact, he was just down in Haiti and they airlifted him because he was trying to help orphans. But he sat down with Professor Maury Schwartz accidentally on Tuesdays just to talk to him about life. And it's the greatest book I've seen on life. Now, he's written a lot of books since then. And really what it comes down to is every second you're walking the earth, every second, it's no longer a second, it's the word precious. Things can change in a moment. And that book will reek of gratitude. You don't even have to read the whole book. And I'd like you to get back to reading some things that maybe have tickled and touched your spirit maybe years ago. And I urge you to read some books that reacquaint you with what it means to feel alive, cry, laugh, cry, and what? Think. Galvano, right? How many read Charlotte's Web? Yeah. And giving this as a gift is just going to make you feel great, all right? So I urge you to read those, and I urge you to digest those as best you can. And there's papers up here, some of which I use, but one of my heroes Anybody recognize this guy? I've had this picture so long. You only get it for 2 seconds. This is George Burns. In fact, listen to the optimism on the title of his book, The First 100 Years. And really what he's saying to you, and he didn't know it then, was that life is for living, loving, and laughing. It ain't for whimpering, whining, or complaining. And we have people in our 90s, in 100 now, you're going to have more centurions, doing things, picking up new hobbies, and you're smiling, and that smile can't be fabricated. That's a great smile, saying, ha, it ain't over. You know, people will tell you at our age, we're around in second base, you know. But you know what? You're not at third base yet. You're not between third and home. You got a lot of living to do. And if you ever doubt it, you hang out with some people who got a lot of living to do. Joining different clubs, going out different evenings, just doing some things differently and keeping what works for you the same. But you only got a short amount of time in this little script. Here today, gone tomorrow. That's not a fatalistic attitude to make things happen. I told you Charlie is a basketball coach. He doesn't even have to answer this. Can a game change in 1 second? 0.9 on the clock make a difference? I have had pleasure and misery due to 0.9 on the clock as a coach. And so can you. And I remember something. I'm a, thank God, former award-winning school principal. This was in Connecticut. I ran a school for the most behaviorally disordered kids in the country. It was the Stonegate School at that time. And we had kids from all over. It was residential. Some kids were day students, but kids who have been dealt hard blows that no kid should be dealt with. And I'm going to violate a HIPAA law. Yeah. Send somebody after me. I'm going to violate a HIPAA law. How many know what HIPAA is? Somebody's going, oh my God. Yeah, text me, OMG, go ahead. Kid named Michael Williams, I'll never forget it. Sometimes the greatest teachers are not the ones you think. He's 8 years of age. New London, Connecticut, I get chills. I was thinking about this the other time, for the first time in 20 years. And Mike had some challenging behavior. Beautiful kid, small like that, beautiful face, could have been a model. And I said, let's go to the administrative offices, because I had to suspend him. And he goes, okay, Dr. Sobel, I'll come with you. You know, and he's pretty articulate, 7 years of age. And I go, it's raining out. And I feel a tug on my shirt. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, I just want to tell you what my mom told me, that when it rains, it means God is crying. I've never forgotten that in my life. And you look back at the things that touch your spirit and touch your heart, God is crying. And then we went, and I said, I think I'm going to reverse this suspension. Come on back. I mean, that was just too good. That was like Moses giving me the 10 Commandments. But kids laugh many times a day. I don't know the exact number. We didn't always say at the right things. But kids laugh spontaneously. They don't cover up, oh, I shouldn't, is that appropriate? So if you need to laugh, don't think you're going to offend everybody all the time. Be careful with your sarcastic sense of humor, which I love. How many ever watched Seinfeld? I mean, that's been on for how many years? Since it ended in 1998? How many don't care about seeing the reruns? You've seen it 10 times, you can almost say what's going to be what? The scene. And those are the type of things that kind of rev up your engine. There was a guy named Norman Cousins. Anybody ever hear of him? And you don't have to hear of him. Editor, Saturday Evening Review, Saturday Evening Post, goes into the hospital, and we won't say this is atypical, which means strange if you're looking for fancy definitions. And he's in a hospital bed, and of course they gave him medications. Thank God for good medications. How many agree with me? All right, yeah. And they're not helping him. He's got severe back pain. He's got a lot of things going on. He's got a couple of health conditions. And somebody came in the room, I think it was a relative, and he says, I can't take these strong medications anymore. And we're not telling you to live one way or the other. Find a balance. And somebody put on a Three Stooges video and kept putting it on. Do you remember the Three Stooges? A trivia question. Who are they?
Larry Moore.
Curly. And who was the stand-in? Shemp. Do you remember Shemp? Yeah, don't leave Shemp out. Yeah, all right. And he says, I laughed so hard over a period of time, and he wrote a book about it that I called Laughing Internal Jogging, meaning it's good for my system. The chemicals, the endorphins were rolling around. And it didn't cure everything, but it made what? Stuff bearable for a period of time. And those are the things that you got to love. Now, even if somebody in your life has an obnoxious laugh, and I know there is, because you tell people about it, oh, I can't stand her, you know. They're still laughing. So welcome those people in, because you all have your unique ways of laughing and howling and doing all those things. And by the way, there is a prescription I'm going to give you. You need 12 hugs a day, could be from different people, for survival. But I'm going to caution you. Do not hug anybody and pat them on the back as if they have colic or need to burp. Okay? But hugs mean a great deal, and it's nonverbal. Sense of touch. How are you today? And I do some work. In fact, I feel like I'm at Caesar's Palace. I'm at Glen Meadow once. How many know where Glen Meadow is? It's in Longmeadow. Yeah, you can mention it's in Longmeadow. Yeah. And I go there once a month. I'm going to speak April 24th there. And the residents come in. And one of the things I know is if I speak to somebody and they can't hear or they're not verbal, some strokes, whatever, and I have my sense of touch and I go, how are you? They hear me. They hear me with my what? Sense of touch. Just like a baby hears you when they are rocking in the cradle. So the sense of touch is very, very important. So I'm not saying be touchy-feely. God forbid, you know. But your sense of touch, your verbal, you are unique human beings. I'm so excited about that. How about a round of applause for your being? Just a round of applause for your being. Now, partner one, where are you? So we have to reinforce to partner two. On the count of three, would you say to partner number two? Partner number two, you're going to get this from partner number one on the count of three. Look them in the eye and say, you got the right stuff. 1, 2, 3. Would you do that right now? You got the right stuff. Little encouragement goes a long way. Now, this brings me to a story because I'm spontaneous. This is your walking stick. Could this be construed as a cane? Yeah. So I'm fortunate. No, I'm fortunate in that I still travel a bit and have friends. I have a lot of friends in Florida. How many know where Florida is? Yeah. Get on a plane and you go. And in Boynton Beach, I used to visit my mother, who's 94, passed away. And even though she couldn't verbalize it, I knew where she wanted to go eat. And there's a famous place called 3G's or 3J's Delicatessen. Does anybody know that place? In Boynton Beach, yeah. But you got to get there like 3:30. To have dinner, you got to get there 3:30. And cars pull up, and this is beautiful because ambulatory equipment these days is the walkers. They got all these colors like it's a race car, you know. They got a cranberry red and a blue, and people get out and they have little compartments in their walker. I think it's the next generation, you know. Everybody's going, even if you're 16, you're going to want to buy a walker, you know. And they get out, and they have these canes, and they look like they went to tattoo artists. The canes have different designs on them, and they flaunt them. They walk with the cane like this. It's not about the food, it's about flaunting the cane. And I've seen an epidemic that I like forming. How many go to Big Y? Oh yeah, Big Y's legendary. It's like a Publix in Florida. Now, this is taking place in the Longmeadow store, but I'm going to go observe. I think it's taking place in East Longmeadow. You're going to see more people not afraid to take their canes in because now it becomes like a status symbol. Walking around, getting online, and then saying, you go, just so they can be seen with their cane. Yeah. So all these things we can laugh at, and you're laughing right away, feeling good. How many have enjoyed our time together so far? Yeah, all right. And this is, well, thank you very much. But there's more. Now, if you can stand up, I'm going to ask you to stand up. If you can stand up. If not, you can observe. Can you stand up? Try your best. I know some days you don't want to stand up. All right? Now, I'm going to give you 3 actions. Then we're going to end the exercise by doing something very simple. But pay attention to the 3 actions. First action, I'd like you to duplicate. I'm going to do it, count to 3, and you do it as best you can. Just relax your shoulders. You're not getting evaluated. All right? My first action is called the tiger. I'd like you to do the tiger with me. First, my turn. Have I seen you in Longmeadow, at the Longmeadow Adults? Yeah, I recognize you. You always get a meal and sit in the back. I know. I see you. No, you're always there, man. You're always there. Yeah. See, you recognize faces, yeah. What do you make the rounds to all the senior centers, or what do you?
I make the rounds to the senior center so I can see you.
Wow. I thought it was for, he's giving it right back to me. I thought it was for the cup of coffee. So on the count of 3, my turn first. And remember, dare to be a little corny. Age has nothing to do with it. All right? Live like your life is on the line. All right, my turn first. You're going to do the tiger. Watch. 1, 2, 3, my turn. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Excellent. Good facial stuff, too. Next item's called the pistol. No guns, all right? No real guns, but watch me. 1, 2, 3. Pointed at the ceiling. Ready? 1. Hands on hips if you can find them. Go ahead. 1. Well, hips disappear, you know? You don't know what the hip is and what it used to be. You know, it's not what it used to be. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Last action's probably the most important. It's called the person. The person goes like this. On the count of 3, my turn first. 1, 2, 3. Mwah. Intense passion, throw it at somebody in the room that looks like they can use it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now, no talking, no secret hand signals, as best you can. Find somebody in the room, could be somebody at your table. Do not talk to them, but line up back to back and keep it appropriate. These are the last set of directions. By the way, I'm still coaching. Your grandson is Alexander?
Yeah.
I think I might have given him that, all right? All right, on the count of 3. No disclaimers, I can't be sued. You're going to turn as best you can, all right? Turn as best you can. If you have vertigo or something else, you don't need to do it. You're going to turn slowly, unbeknownst to your partner. You're going to turn and you're going to decide, they're going to decide, you're either going to do the tiger or the pistol or the person. And here's my point for those that like to have points. Your effect on people can happen in a second, regardless of what went on, regardless of the weather. Make it your business to uplift somebody's life and you'll get it back 10 more times. All right, ready. On the count of 3, you'll do the tiger or the pistol. I have some people, they don't listen. They do all 3 of them. They want to cover the bases. You ready? All right. You've been living your whole life ready for this. I can see that. What's your first name?
Priscilla.
Priscilla? Yeah, I thought it would have a name like that. Yeah. Nickname?
Chrissy.
Nothing. Yeah, I was going to say. All right. Yeah.
All my family, they call me Chris.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Yeah. All right, come on. I like delayed gratification. That's okay. Ready, on the count of 3, and turn slowly. Enjoy it. We know some people that eat so fast they look like a rattlesnake eating a rabbit. Enjoy every bite. What's your hurry? Get things done, but what's your hurry? Go at your own pace. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Turn and face your partner and do one of those 3 things. Now. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Can I see this? Can I see this? Hey, before I give you an end to this, this is what I'm talking about. Look at the color of this thing. Yeah, this is a news item. This is worthy talking about. Can I take this as a souvenir? Whose is this? All right.
I need it to hold.
Oh, my goodness. No, you need it to show other people that you have a good choice of colors. Does this come
My son
apart,
gave it to
too?
me. It's adjustable.
Who gave it to
My
you?
son.
Nice boy.
'Cause I
Nice
got it.
boy.
Yeah.
Nice boy. So how many, now this is more serious, kind of psychoanalytic. How, because everything has a deep, dark meaning, remember, overanalyze things. How many did the tiger? And I can, how many did the pistol? I thought you would. Steve did it. How many did the person? Doesn't mean a damn thing, just sit down, okay? Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean a damn thing. You know, being in education most of my life, as a survival tool, I've had to learn to laugh at certain things. Because every occupation, when you want to do your best, can be stressful, all right? You know, even if you're working with some negative people, you know, you do the best you can. Now, how many have had a career that they're retired from or at least letting down in terms of hours? How many have worked before? And how many have worked with negative people? And for those that require a definition, I'm willing to give you a definition. The type of person that simply by leaving the room brightens up. All right? And you can't change people. There's an article here about dealing with miserable people, and it's written in a context of levity but seriousness. And the quality of your relationships often is how you navigate, how you change, how you accept. Do you make mountains out of molehills? And I like to take little jokes, little ditties, I call them, from different professions. Has anybody been in education, been a teacher here? Yeah, oh my goodness. Were you a principal?
No.
Where were you a teacher?
Polio.
You even said it right, Holyoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know Bill Regali?
Yes, I do. I worked with him.
He's a dear friend of
I
mine.
was a math teacher. He was in the English department.
Dear friend of mine.
Great person.
Great person. I think he was the tennis coach too.
Yeah, he was. I
And he was a great basketball coach.
Great basketball.
Yeah, great. And where, you taught?
I taught.
I figured.
I did.
I think I haven't handed an assignment to you. I think I still owe you one. She's got that look, don't Hey,
No.
grade's going on Tuesday, you know?
Hand it in.
Yeah,
Tonight's coffee at 7.
Oh yeah, she's got that vibe. Where did you teach?
Right here in good old East Long Meadow.
Oh, what did you teach? Home economics? Social studies?
Elementary children, all
You know what? You may not remember all their names. You may, but you're never going to forget a
I know
face.
all of them.
Of course you do.
So many have the same
Hey,
name.
when you see him,
Honey.
when you see him at the Big Y,
Yeah.
when you see him at the Big Y and they say hello and
Hi,
Mrs.
honey. How are you?
Doesn't that make you feel good?
It does.
You know, sometimes as a principal, I would walk into a supermarket, you know, on my own hours, thought I'd have a little breathing room. And a parent and a kid would be there, maybe a challenging kid. And I would go in the aisles like this and I'd go, oh, shit! And I'd move backwards. But hopefully most of those kids are not afraid to say hello to you because you need that. You've touched many lives and many families. Give her a round of applause. Just, you know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's the one that baked cakes and just put it out on a staff table just so they could have it.
Yeah. How'd you know that?
Hey, I know a lot of stuff. Here, little jokes, little ditties, even if you have to say, how can I laugh on purpose? Get some jokes, get some things, get a good joke book. Teacher says, why have you got cotton in your ears? Do you have an infection? Kid says, well, you keep saying that things go in one ear and out the other, so I'm trying to keep them all in. You know, and that's not far from the truth. There is one person in our school district, and there's this law, who is all about no child left behind. How many have heard that law? Who's that? The bus driver. And the last one, this was an actual response from a kid. Where was the Declaration of Independence signed?
On the bottom.
That's what the kid says, exactly, on the bottom. Exactly right. And by the way, you think of the candy bar or the candy pieces, Chuckles, remember that? And when they did the first research for this, they said, what are we going to name this gelatinious, whatever it is, thing that you can take a parties through with my kids and put a red on a yellow, I was a hero. We're going to call it Chuckles. Now, while that candy was delicious, there were other candies competing with that. But the name, Chuckles, just a little chuckle, goes a long way. And if you need an inspirational phrase, I'm going to give you one. How many remember Art Carney of the Honeymooners? Oh, yeah. Alias, it was Ed Norton. And listen to this. He said, when the tides of life turn against you and the current upsets your boat, don't waste those tears in what might have been. Just lay on your back and float. And sometimes you just got to float and let things work out for themselves. If somebody in your family, I respect this, is not calling you the way they should, or even wishing you something, lay back, all right? Don't always persist, okay? Just go with the flow a little more than you have. Very, very important. When I used to work with, I coached Little League for years. I had some very successful teams. Little League. How many have had grandchildren or children in Little League? I need an apology note. No, that's all right. Let it ring. Mine will ring anytime, too. All right? Oh, yeah. Nice. I knew that mallard duck had a big influence on your life. So I had these teams, and somebody came up to me and said, why do you have such good teams? And I'll give you my secret. I pick the kids with the best-looking mothers. Just, figure that one out, all right? But when we had a Little League team, I'm going to tell you some stories because that's where I first really started to develop Here Today, Gone Tomorrow. I had some tragic things happen to some of my kids overnight where I never saw them again. Now that was stunning, but what I take from that is the preciousness of life. We live on a thin line every single day. And let that be joyous. Not sad. So tonight, put a little more spice in your food. Order that extra dish. Invite somebody out to dinner that you haven't invited before. Call them up if you're at a McDonald's and say, hey, would you like a medium or large fry? See what they like. But do those little things that enrich your life. And by the way, we have great evidence over the years, and the field is called, for those that want to be scientific, psychoneuroimmunology, where we have a strong bit of evidence that how you think and what you think is linked to how you feel. Genetics aside. I always have a phrase, genetics loads the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. And how you think sometimes is how you what? Gonna feel. And there's a lot of evidence with that. So you do everything you can to enhance your health, and your mental health is as or more important than your physical health. We're seeing that finally addressed, okay? Now, you've come here today, you've spent your time. I'm thrilled, I'm gratified. And what's your first name? And I hate to point. No, right here. Sandra. Forget it's me. What's one thing you're going to take away, and you're going to thank our host, Alicia Smith. She's right over here. You're going to thank her. Yeah, you're going to thank her. Yeah. Because I get a lot of emails, and I'm blessed, I get a lot of requests, but her request is, we got to have you. This would be great. Enthusiasm breeds enthusiasm. And that's why I'm here, because of her. So what did you pick up today that you're going to say, I'm going to think about it, I'm going to act upon it, or I'm going to tell somebody else about it? What hit you? Even if it's common sense, because we're so busy in our minds, nothing's as uncommon as common sense. And a lot of this is common sense, but you got to practice it. And it's not like a piano lesson. It's not always structured. Even when you leave here today, yeah, I know you got places to go to, you got to be at a certain time. Be ruthless with time, gracious with people. Take an extra 2 seconds to say, I haven't seen you in a while, and ask them that phrase that I said in the beginning. How you doing? Doesn't have to be anything. Even if they say good and you don't believe it, it's still connection. So what did you pick up today?
I'm going to contact more people during the day. You know, you look good, you know, I like the color of whatever you're wearing.
If you do that in one day, I can guarantee you'll be at one of my seminars in the future. Yeah. Your first name again is?
Cindy.
Yeah, it takes me usually 3 times. What type of work do you do?
I'm a landlord
You're a landlord. Yeah. Where?
in town. I have 3 houses.
Oh, did you see how she said it? In town. Okay. Great. All right. I'm impressed. All right. Now, so what did you pick up today? As a human being, not a human doing. You're a human being, not a human doing. You're not perfect. You're going to fall down, you're going to get up, you're going to practice, you're going to try and be as enthusiastic as you can, and that doesn't mean jumping up and down. Quietly effective enthusiasm. And it's a blessing to have you here.
Thank you. I would say my first takeaway is that issues are a gift. Because I don't ever look at them as that.
Very good. All
The
right.
second one is that I want to reread Tuesdays with Glory.
Yeah, and there is on the back of this is where I need a teacher's help. There's a little sign-up sheet because I've been blessed and so busy with a lot of things. I used to give a lot of seminars open to the public. Used to rent out different hotels and put ads in paper and send them out. But if you're interested, and I don't know where those locations are going to be, but this spring I'd like to do a few different topics. You can sign your name with your email or your address. Doesn't cost you anything. And we'll get in touch with you. All right? And you might be surprised who might show up speaking with me. Oh, yeah, I got a lot of friends. So, yeah, just hold this, and if nobody signs it, you give it back to me. Because I worked very hard on that introduction. Yeah, I don't waste paper. All right? Oh, now we're getting to be very demanding. I got a pen? Yeah. Here. All right, I got another exercise, but I'm going to go to partner number 2. Somebody hurts your feelings. They say something that bruises your ego. I'm going to say, you know, it's like Buddy Hackett said, a lot of people said things to me that I don't like, but I still went out dancing. Dancing, yes. But I'm going to give you something as good. When somebody says something to you, instead of it letting bruise you and taking it too personally, where you don't talk to them, well, I'll be damned if I'll answer that phone again, you know. This is a magic reminder. Anybody know what this is?
Q-tip.
Yes, but it stands for something. And I have some you can take. Quit taking it personally. Most people, and I'm going to say this in this correct English, we're not up at night planning and plotting to irritate you. They're not spending time plotting and on purpose gathering a whole committee that you think the world is against. Can you believe she said that? It doesn't matter. So you can take these, all right? Now, I also developed a T-shirt. And partner number 2, you're going to say this on the count of 3 to partner number 1 relative to so-called insults. It's a little phrase. Get over it. Oh, they don't have the Kraft macaroni and cheese. I drove all this way. Get over it. Drive to another store. And they'll talk about the macaroni and cheese for the whole night. You're going to sleep. You're trying to, hey, wake up. Do you believe they didn't have macaroni and cheese? Oh, God. So on the count of 3, and take these in stride. Use them when you can. Partner 2, would you please say, and you don't have to get that emphatic, just be able to say the words, because they'll resonate inside you. On the count of 3. 1, where's partner 2? You remembered who you are. Oh, yeah, everybody's, oh, my God. That was 42 minutes ago, you know. Well, look, you got to forgive yourself. How many have driven to a place, wondered how you got there, or say, what the hell am I doing here? Yeah. Or you're on a road and you say, where am I? And you think you're losing, you're not losing your mind, you're human. It's not a clinical condition necessarily. People forget. I'll tell you what I've been forgetting more in the past 2 years, and I just think it's a function of busyness. I will go into a gas station, and I like to pay cash for my gas. And I'll give them a $10 bill. Then I'll go outside, and inevitably there'll be somebody that I'm talking to. How many times have I driven away without putting gas in my car? And I go 2 miles down the road, and I'm hurrying back like an idiot, trying to get into the same pump. And I couldn't get into the same pump last time. And she goes, it's okay. We have your $10. Just get on another pump. So whatever crisis, don't make somebody's urgency your things are going to happen. I hope you have the good fortune of putting on 2 different pair of shoes when you wanted to put on the same. Yeah. Or different socks. Yeah, do it on purpose. So, be a fool on purpose. You'll feel good. Partner number 2 to partner number 1. On the count of 3, get over it. 1, 2, 3.
Get over it.
Get over it. That's right. Like we said, you want to make an issue over it? That's fine. Now, in some of these sheets, good catch. There is an article, many I've read. Laughter is the best medicine. You can cope with miserable people. And one of the things on there, if you're dealing with a miserable person, as you come up to them, instead of saying, oh my God, just start to hum the theme of Jaws. Change the perception. Yeah. Now, these are quotes. I used to get a subscription. I was going to say prescription. I get enough of those. Bits and Pieces, it's called. Bits and Pieces. And a lot of businesses order them, but I just ordered them. There we go. And they had little sayings, little chuckles. Now, how many of you, before I read this, attempt to play golf? How many of you attempt to? How many for you is golf really a water sport? In fact, spelled backwards, what is golf spelled backwards? Flog. Right? I work with a lot of golfers, but yes, it's very tough. But on golf has taught me there is a connection between pain and pleasure. Golf spelled backwards is flog. That was from Phyllis Diller. How many remember her? And by the way, I don't care what you say, we got some great comedians now. We do. But some of the older time comedians like a Jack Benny, I mean, you can't buy the opportunity to see that. Something he said, I don't know the whole thought. I should have given you the whole thought. Says, Mr. Benny, you know, you got some things over there that you asked for. And he goes, I don't like everything I asked for. I have arthritis. I didn't ask for that. And that's just a mild thing. On forgiveness, you know, we've had hurt so much. Forgive and you'll feel better. I don't know, you know. I like what the Godfather said. I forgive, but I don't forget. How many have watched The Godfather? Yeah. How many tried to imitate Marlon Brando? Yeah. All right, here's what it says. On forgiveness, it's better to forgive and forget than to resent and remember. A little heavy. On anger, your temper is one of your most valuable possessions. Try not to lose it. On age, and you know this, immaturity can last a lifetime. Right? And one more, on judgment. Human nature seems to endow people with the ability to size up everybody but themselves. So these are up there as well. So when we talk about laughter and humor, or whatever the title we're using today for the seminar, we're talking about the fact that perception and how you think about things and taking time to do that is very, very important. Because a lot of situations you're in are predictable. So can you change your behavior? And by the way, you can change at any age. Make a little adjustment, 1%. You know, and I always like to say, the only person that likes change is a baby with a wet diaper. Right? Isn't that true? Nobody likes change. But if you're going to enjoy more of this thing we call life, you're going to have to change. I know somebody goes to the supermarket and he's just into this habit and gets mad at people. he has to back his car in. So I drove with him to the supermarket, and there were no spots where he could really back in. There were all sorts of conflicts. I said, can you just drive up? And he says, I can't do it. I said, it's like a therapy session. You can do it. I can't do it. I haven't done it in a while. You can do it. And he finally did it, and he kind of walked out like this. And after you make some changes, you feel strange. You know, you feel like your car was stolen, or how did I do it, or why did I do it? But you're so capable of changes, it's incredible. And I lost my dad at age 68 back in 1991. And he was a stockbroker, you know, always on with the money figures and this and that. But he developed another side of himself later in life. He became a very accomplished watercolor painter. So how do you become a stockbroker and a watercolor painter and then begin to swim 2 or 3 times a week and take care of yourself? And it was because he had a supportive family, he had a lot of friends. But he developed these skills, and certain weekends he went to art shows. And it kind of counterbalanced whatever profession he did. And he loved being a stockbroker. He liked to interchange good people in his office and stuff like that. But you're multi-talented. And you need to flap your wings. I have one person I work with, and she's now collecting pictures of butterflies. She's not killing the butterflies. Little butterflies. Because she wants to be a photographer. She's 96 years of age. Who am I to say you can't buy a camera? Your fine motor coordination is not that good. I don't care if she takes a picture with her elbows. But she's doing these things. Now, how many wear glasses because they need them? You know what? I've seen a trend. People wear glasses now. They don't need just to look better. Some of these athletes, yeah, I don't know what that's about. And my last question is, how many of you take showers? All right, I'm going to encourage you more than ever to sing in the shower. I'm going to encourage you more than ever to keep your eye on the road, but sing in the car, tune it into a radio station that's pre-programmed so you're ready. Or whatever you put in there these days, CD. And as we close, I'm going to ask you to sing along with me, because I think singing elicits some of the same physiological responses as laughter. And we have proof of that. And in fact, if you're walking down an aisle or you're walking in the street and you're singing a song that just comes to you, you don't know how it comes, how many have done that? You sing that song. That's probably the greatest gift you've unwrapped today. Doesn't matter what the voice sounds like. So there's an old song. It's by a guy named Gene Chandler. He had a few songs, but he had one big hit. Anybody know what the hit was? I'd be very surprised if you did. What were you going to say?
I was thinking Gene Chandler, that name.
Gene Chandler. Not Gene Pitney from Summers, all right. Or whatever his name is. Gene Chandler sang a song, Duke of Earl. All right, so it's simple. But I want you to have no fear, trepidation, or anxiety about joining in with us as we head into the home stretch today. And by the way, I'll say this in this grammatical context. The words to Duke of Earl ain't complicated. It's Duke, Duke, Duke of Earl. And you're one team here. And part of your job is to encourage us to sing. So ladies, can you hear me and not use not hearing as an excuse? In the back table there, we need you. She's getting it. She's getting it. Now, I remember I said you look familiar, you know that? And I worked at this middle school in East Long Meadow, and I said, you look familiar. Now, you were a nurse there, and you made a change to be a nurse here. But you made the change. Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes there's a little trepidation because we're not saying you didn't like where you were. But you're just adding to your portfolio. So Duke of Earl, the words are Duke, Duke, Duke of Earl. By the way, it's good you sat here because you can't escape. So I'd like you to sing along with me. I'll help you. Even somebody I met from Winnick 40 years ago. What grade did I give you for that course?
An A.
I can take it back. I can take it back, yeah. Oh my God, yeah, we had a lot of people in that class. Yeah, they filled up quickly. The stress management. It was Business 641, I remember the number. That was 641, the course, yeah. Yeah. Who was stress management?
What's her name?
I forget. But I gave her a hug. Now, tell him your last name.
Castonguay.
Yeah, I didn't forget
That's
that
her
one.
married name.
Oh, you want to delve deep.
No, that's when I was
Oh,
married.
you were
at the time.
Castonguay when you
Yeah,
were?
do you guys want to take this outside? All right, all right, so on the count, and by the way, when you're laughing, you're building up all the muscles we normally don't use. And laughter is the best medicine. That's why we've had so many comedy shows on TV. Why we had an Ed Sullivan, we had a Milton Berle, we had yeah, but his Topo Gigio, come on. We had a lot of people on TV now. Even the Smothers Brothers, you know, and people would get into those things, and there's good reason to do that. And by the way, you've done a fine job moving that camera. I just don't want you to be able to have to go to physical therapy because of the movement. Are you all right? Yeah, because it's not covered under any policy here. Pay out of your own pocket. All right, here we go. One, it's going to be Duke of Earl. Duke. You'll do it right. She's like this. Oh my God. It's all right. It's all right. Ready? One, I'm looking at you. Two, I'm looking at you. Three, follow me. Duke, Duke of Earl, Duke. Duke of Earl. You got it. Oh, I got so excited. As I walk through this world, nothing can stop the Duke of Earl. How about a round of applause for you? So as you leave here today, I will be sticking around for any questions and comments. But I have to tell you something that I don't tell most audiences. And in this you're not going to laugh at, but it's going to touch your heart. You think this table will collapse on me?
We'll laugh then.
Yeah, I know. But then I have to get up,
We'll help you.
you know, with the knees, you know.
We'll help you.
So, had a lot of sports and organization experience. I was chosen to work with the Harvard, how many have heard of Harvard? It's been in the news. Harvard men's hockey team, 1998, 1999. And they never made it to the finals, and if you're a hockey fan, of the Beanpot tournament. So they hired me, and I came in, I spoke to them about cancer survivors and living like that. It really wasn't about anything strategic with your hockey stick. And the guy on the phone said, Ron Tomasani, I remember him, the coach, he says, by the way, we heard you speak to all the cafeteria workers at Harvard, and you uplifted them, you said some great things. We can't pay you. And my son at that time was 9 years of age, and he played hockey. I said, would you allow my son, and don't be afraid to ask for things, would you allow my son to skate with the Harvard men's hockey? I have the pictures. Became a seminar, lessons learned from the Harvard hockey team. Do you mind if he comes and, I told him that night, he had his hockey equipment on. This was a Tuesday, we were going on a Friday. So I spoke to the Harvard team many, many times. I'm still in touch with a lot of those guys. Even when I invited them out to a barbecue, the NCAA called me up and said, you can't pay them for mileage and all that. That's fine. You know, give them a little something, you know. And one of them now, Brett, I think is a lawyer, sent me this. It's dated September 2nd, 1999. Says, Dear Doc, last time I saw this kid, I'm heading back east in a week. I don't know where he lived. I thought he was from California. I can't wait to see all my friends again. 3.5 months is a long time to go without seeing them. I'll be in touch with you once I return. And he did do that. And he sent me this because he knows I like this motivational quote. And this is about the preciousness. I get chills. He wrote me this. And then I'll tell you who wrote it. He says, it's like seeing someone for the first time. Like you're passing on the street and you look at each other. This kid wrote this. 19-year-old hockey player. And for a few seconds, there's this kind of recognition. Like you both know something. And the next moment the person's gone, it's too late to do anything about it. And you always remember it because it was there and you let it go. And you think to yourself, what if I stopped? What if I said something? What if? It may only happen a few times in your life. And this was a quote by a guy named Jack Foley. And it doesn't matter who it's, but it's about life in your moments. And I have kept this because I'm not afraid to say, don't I know you from somewhere, even if it's half a knowing. Or how are you doing? Or I like those glasses, within reason, I don't want to get punched in the face. But this has always stuck with me. And as people give you quotes, and there's a paper with quotes here, think about those to enhance your own life. With all the ups and downs, it's like an elevator ride, up one day, down the next. How many times can you stay in the middle? Right? And I hope you all made and make a lot of money. But remember this, and this is with due respect to money. I'd rather you live a full life, money or not, rather than be the richest man in the cemetery. Take care of yourself, spend it on others, and buy yourself some gifts and others. And like the geese fly, let the wind be the power under your wings. And do the best you can. So I love what you said. I'm going to call somebody. Just that alone is powerful. I'd love to know what the person said. What did you take out of today? Your first name is?
Stasha.
What is it?
Stasha.
Sasha, oh. Very nice name.
It's a Polish name.
I figured that out. She said it's Polish. I said I figured that out, yeah. So what did you take away? Because you invested your time, you saw your friends. What is one thought that, forget about me, pretend I'm the Wizard of Oz and I'm on the back of a screen.
I enjoy life more.
Do it as much as you can. Yeah.
Get out and
Yeah, when your inner voice says something that holds you back, maybe the voice can say something else. Right. And don't wait for life-sobering moments to enhance your life. Do it. Live as if you had the heart attack. There's a book that talks about it. Live as if you had why wait? And I guarantee you, your perception will be a little different. You'll live with quiet, positive desperation. Oh, yeah. And my friend, I said, thank you for your service. That's the most important thing in the Navy. What's your first name?
Lloyd.
Lloyd. Lloyd of London. What did you pick up today, Lloyd?
Inspiration.
Inspiration, all right.
Pay attention.
That's enough. That's a big two. Let's get one more person. Let's get our person who came in a little late. I am really, yes, thank you. I was hoping she would say something. Get over it.
You're welcome. You know what's
You're a live wire, aren't you?
I liked your, the cane story.
Wait, what's your first name?
Sue.
Sue. So if I see in Big Y, that's a fertile ground for meeting people, the Big Y. They should have meet and greet night. In fact, when I go in, I don't even buy my own food. I look for a basket that has food already in it. That is mostly what I need at home, and I walk out with it, yeah. So what did you pick up, Sue? And I don't know if that's your real name. Because this is on film.
The cane story.
The what?
Your cane story,
Oh,
using it like, I'm hot because I got a cane.
yeah, and you know what?
I love that.
It's never too early to shop for a cane. Yeah, because you know what? The body is forgiving when we're 20, 30, 40, and 50. And naturally, it becomes less forgiving. We work with it. All right, so start to think about it. There's probably a catalog out there that I don't even know about that has canes that cost a lot of money, and they have all. There is a catalog? Didn't I? What is that?
They have carved.
You've come alive. I'm glad to see you. Go ahead, yeah.
I don't have it, but I looked at them. They have beautiful carved ones with all different animals and really
Well, somebody with an entrepreneurial spirit can start their own business, hand-carved canes. Because most of the population, we're aging. We're in the majority. Okay? That's good. Do you know how much the price range was, or?
It's a lot.
Yeah. 350, 4?
I'd say probably 200 and something.
That's right. That's without shipping.
Yeah.
That's without shipping. Okay. You know some people who'd rather be right than happy. Let them talk. Let them talk. So as we leave, we're going to have one last quote. It's by Mother Teresa, the great lady. In case you're wondering if you've been dealt a hand that you should have, and you have. She said, "I know God will not give me anything I can't handle. I just wish she didn't trust me so much." So flip it in the brain and you're trusted. And it's been a pleasure beyond my expectations, which are high, to come here today, and I'll come back anytime. I've been in a lot of senior centers. This is Pleasantview. I'm still looking for the view, all right? But I saw that, and a lot of, don't see, that is casual, and it's homey. This is like a fireplace. It has a beautiful tinge to it, yeah. And it's just a great place, and I hope you take advantage of the senior center. And again, thank you for the sponsorship, because it means a lot, and I know you do great work. And hopefully people will stop by your table, okay? And it was very worthwhile of you to come out tonight, all righty? So thank you. So I can talk for another 2 hours, you know that. And the only specific agenda would be to give you some things to think about and laugh about, cry about, be passionate about, because the clock is always ticking. But I want to thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
And you all get home safely, or whatever you're going to do. And by the way, for those that want to know my history with East Long Meadow, I've been very, very involved with East Long Meadow. I go to the 99 restaurant sometimes. I go to coffee time. My friend James runs the place. I know Beth. I even get Chinese food from Jackie Chen. And you got a lot of good things here in East Long Meadow, as good as anywhere. And I love Frigo's. I had him cater twice my Christmas party. And he's got the greatest food in the world. And I'm not doing a plug because I called him up. And I got some friends who were students of mine at Western New England College, Fazio's. Yeah, Aldo was in my class. So just a lot, what's that?
He was my student.
I want to know his transcript, because I'm not sure he put forth the effort needed. Yeah. But it means a lot, and I think it's a great town because it's filled with great people. And keep it alive, and always do in your mind what's the right thing. God bless everyone. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Thank you.